All right, welcome everyone. We are live. I think we are up to episode number 9, I think, of the Loose Lug Nuts broadcast. We're going to be talking about everything from both Watkins, Glen, and Nashville this weekend. And I am joined, as always, by my co-hosts, Zachary Brandvold, Aaron Simmons, and we have got a special guest with us this week, Big Ben Hudson. Now, normally, I let these guys introduce themselves, but I am actually going to introduce Ben Hudson for you guys. Okay. This guy knows NASCAR. He knows IMSA. He knows Formula One. He knows IndyCar. He is a well-versed man in all forms of motorsports. And he is a huge Kurt Busch fan. And if you want to know what kind of enthusiasm he's going to bring to the table, it's Ben Hudson out of Atlanta, watching Kurt Busch win. First time in about a year. This is what you're in for, folks. This is the kind of enthusiasm that you're going to get tonight with Ben Hudson here.
I'm regretting sending you that
Welcome
video.
to the podcast, man.
So, Ben, tell us how you doing tonight. Welcome to the show.
I'm really, really excited to be here. Happy to be on the show. Finally glad it worked out. That schedule's worked out that I could come on. So super excited to be here.
All right, we're glad to have you, man. We're expecting some of that same enthusiasm tonight. So next up, let's go to Mr. Aaron Simmons, a.k.a. Simoleons. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing all right. Doing all right. Just awaiting some results and from a code test that I had to have, and we're looking forward to getting out of quarantine for a while, and really excited to get the podcast underway.
Well, I'll tell you what, you look like you're suffering through COVID a little better than Zach was a few weeks ago. So I am beginning to think you can catch COVID through the internet because you got it right after Zach got it. And I'm noticing you two are like top to bottom here on my screen. So I'm wondering if that's how you contracted it. But
I coughed up.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. Zach, what you have to cough up for?
Be careful. I'm gonna get you.
Yeah. So Zach barely made it with us tonight. He has one of those JOB things that almost got in the way of the important things in life, like podcasts. But he is here.
Wow.
How you doing tonight, Zach?
I am exhausted. What should have been a 4-hour job turned into an 8-hour job. So I am pretty exhausted. But I'm here. I'm ready to get this thing rocking and rolling, and excited to be here. And Ben's on here, so I love that. I love that.
Absolutely, and the four amigos.
Yeah,
absolutely. And I'll tell you what we are doing. Sorry, I've got dogs roaming the house here, and I got cords everywhere. So we are in danger of things just going completely offline at any point in time. But let's get started with some of the race reviews. Speaking of going offline, Zach just disappeared. Let's kind of let our special guest take off first here. So, Ben, give us a review of the IndyCar race, if you don't mind.
You mean the Nashville Demolition Derby?
I think that's what it's going to be renamed next year.
All right. To tell you how much of a wreck fest it was, if I read correctly, it tied the record for the most cautions in a street course race since Indy Racing League, since it formed in 1996. The most cautions on a street course since 1996. So yeah, we got it started on lap 1 with Dalton Kellett causing the first caution. And it went, being the cause of the first caution, not that he caused it. But from there, it just went downhill. Total of 9 cautions for 33 laps. I'm pretty sure Oriole Servia and the pace car led more laps than anybody. But yeah, you had, it was a very narrow track. It was, in my opinion, not a very well put together race. They were having issues with the grandstands. Some of the grandstands didn't get put up till day of because track workers worked all the way through the night to get the last of the grandstands put up. You had so many adult beverages pouring in the streets that it started to seep under the barrier onto the track. And
not sure if we lost Ben or exactly what happened there.
Maybe some sort of just lag going on.
You know what?
I will say, I have a couple things on IndyCar.
Yeah, jump in there, see if we get Ben back.
Yeah, so
technical difficulties.
So, we had a spin and win for, the, I believe it's Bobby Unser in the Indianapolis 500 several years ago. But we had a crash and win. Guy went airborne all the way up in the air, vertical. You could see the underside of his car and came back down, and he won the race, which was absolutely insane. I can't believe that actually happened. And that, he had the speed on the straightaways, which is crazy. But yeah, he almost flipped upside down and won the race. It was a complete mess. Drivers sending it in corners where you could only go one wide anyway. I just hope for next year. It was, I think, a well thought out course, but you would think that some of the best drivers in the world and they would drive to the track, but some people were not smart in their decisions for sure. But yeah, and also it brought in the most ratings. I think 2.23 million viewers total. Since 1998 in a kart race. So that's also good for the sport and good for Indy. I like to see their viewership grow. And it also, it produced more results than the F1 race as well. So they're moving up for sure.
Yeah, and I'm not a IndyCar guy, so I'm not that knowledgeable about IndyCar, but I thought I heard them saying on like lap 60, they had finally got the point where they had as many green flag laps as caution laps. And what shocked me was I thought these Indy cars were like so delicate that somebody, breathed on them and it would mess up the aerodynamics and they'd be undrivable. And here's this thing almost flipping, coming down, having to get the whole front whatever replaced, and then they go back to win the race. Shocked me. I did not know that the Indy cars were that tough. Yeah.
There's definitely some, you can knock out the toe and knock out suspension pieces and definitely be done. A lot of the issues with the open wheel races is that you hit the wall and your day is done. But if it's a square on hit, a lot of times it's not gonna affect you as much because you can always replace the nose or replace the back wing. It's gonna take you a little bit long, but we saw that happen. And he not only that, he got a penalty also for that collision because it was his fault, a stop and go penalty, and still won the race as well. So you gotta be crazy.
All right, Ben, we'll let you pick up since you're the special guest.
I'm back. All right,
we'll let you pick up.
Yeah.
Where you left off.
I'm back. Internet issues, no worries. All right, so we're back. So yeah, basically to touch on what y'all were saying, because that's what I was talking about when I got dropped. It's going to be a hell of a race you knew it was a hell of a race when the race winner at one point was flying up through the air. So, but yeah, so it was just a wreck fest. For the most part, Colton Herta had everything locked down for the weekend, and then with just a handful of laps to go, he missed the turn by like that much and ended his day. But yeah, so great comeback for Ericsson. That's 2 wins this year. I think it was, how long has it been since he won, Zach?
No, he won.
You were the one
so
that
he got his first win whenever Will Power's ECU failed on the road on the first race.
Yeah,
in Detroit.
I'm talking before that.
Oh, he had one. He had one
back
7 years.
Back when he was in
F1.
Yeah, back when he was
I think they said 7 years.
GP3, I think. Yeah, back when he was in like GP3, I believe. But in any case, he kind of popped the cork, and now he's reeled off 2 wins. He's up 5th in the points.
Crucially, I think that gets him closer to the championship as well. He's only 75 points out. 5 races remaining.
The person I'm most concerned about is the man that's now 2nd in points. It's that time of year. Yeah, here he comes. And we'll see if Palou can hold up to the pressure. If Palou stayed about 8th to 10th, but he had a good solid day. You had a lot of front runners that kind of got taken out or took themselves out. A lot of the contenders, Rossi got taken out, Newgarden got taken out, Will Power took everybody out. Pato had that collision with Rossi there at the end, and so it dropped me again.
So we'll get Ben back in here, I think, because I think it just dropped him again. Let me ask you guys a question about this IndyCar race.
You had Jimmy.
Oh, he's still here.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on. The internet's fine this time.
Okay.
So.
Okay. Let me ask you guys a question about this IndyCar race. New venue, a lot of problems, a lot of things didn't go right. Do you guys draw any parallels between that and the Bristol dirt race or the first race at Nashville here, whether it be problems with the venue itself they had at Indy, and I think they had a lot of traffic problems at Nashville. They had some problems with the course at Bristol with it being on dirt. Do you guys kind of see some parallels here between the problems they had in the IndyCar race and the problems they had at Nashville and Bristol? It seems like it's growing pains to put on an event that big the first time around. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Whenever you put on a new event, go ahead. Oh, okay. Whenever you put on a new event like that, it definitely.
Well, Nashville didn't have racing for.
We're getting a little bit of delay. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
All right, you go ahead, Zach. You go ahead, Zach.
Okay, I'm going.
There's a bit of a delay.
Okay.
All right, guys. We'll
get sorted
out here eventually.
In any case, I think it's a bit of growing pains. Okay.
So
speaking of growing pains, the venues,
yes.
NASCAR, IndyCar, they have growing pains. We're experiencing them too. So
yeah, so whenever you move
Zach,
to you move to a new track, there's always going to be that level of what to do. You're not fully prepared, especially coming back to Nashville and to that track, and also changing a track like Bristol. That was a big undertaking to begin with. You're going to get some growing pains first time on these tracks, and we saw to a certain extent most of I don't think it was necessarily the track's fault at Nashville NASCAR, but you had a lot of the outside, you had a lot of people coming because it was they brought it back, and it was a lot of people came, and I don't think they were prepared for that. Nashville, I think it was a combination of both. I think they were really prepared for the atmosphere outside the track, but when it came to the track itself, there was a little bit of issues. But then again, you're expecting that these drivers are going to drive the track and not do that. I think, like we've seen in F1, where they back each other down before the start, so the safety car goes when they were on the backstretch essentially, and they let the leader control the field. Well, that they start going too early or too late, and then you see the field stack up and people go to the inside. We've seen that several times in other races as well. So I think it was a combination of all that, and definitely for sure, stuff that we've already dealt with in the past.
Okay, quickly, Ben, your comments on the growing pains there, and then we gotta move on. We got lots to talk about tonight, and we're still on topic one.
All right, so it was a great atmosphere overall. I very much didn't like the layout of the track. I thought it was too narrow. And the condition of the roads, I drew some parallels to the Baltimore race. Maybe that's just me, but that's what I thought of. But Nashville didn't have racing for so many years, and within a handful of months, they've had both NASCAR Cup Series and IndyCar return. So it's going to be there's going to be growing pains. Hopefully they get it sorted out for next year. Like I said, it was a great party atmosphere the entire weekend. It was just when we got to the race, it was one big cluster. So.
Okay, Simoleons, this is your home state. Anything to add before we move on to the NASCAR racing?
Honestly, I was very excited to see IndyCar back in Nashville. I mean, of course, I'm not an IndyCar fan like you, Tom. The only really event that I watched that's in open wheel is the Indy 500, but I don't really follow it all that well. And when IndyCar decided to come back to Nashville, I thought, okay, I'm going to really watch this race. I'm going to absorb as much as I can from this style of racing and really kind of learn from it. And I've learned that IndyCar cars wreck very well. But I really think that I kind of agree with Ben, Zach. The track was, I think, a little bit too narrow in places where they really couldn't pass much. They just kind of follow the leader, and they were still trying to get used to that. From what I heard, the track was very bumpy at the start, and that really affected how the drivers were able to race and able to make passes and all that kind of stuff. So I really expect Nashville to kind of change the track, maybe kind of widen it out some places and really kind of work on their roads, and which they need to do anyway. Mostly Tennessee needs to work on the roads, but anyway, I cannot wait for next year and kind of see what improvements have been brought back to this track, because I'd love to see it again.
All right. So I think that it's a great venue, a great concept. I think like any big event, you do it the first time, there's some growing pains and some lessons learned, and I'm going to believe that IndyCar, like NASCAR, will make some improvements for the second go around. But speaking of NASCAR, let's get into the NASCAR racing. I'm going to cover the truck race and the truck review. And first thing that I got to say about this truck race is, and they really did this with all the races all weekend, they did it radio style. So you had commentators that covered a specific section of the track, then different commentators covered a different section. I love that. I thought it added to the excitement. I thought the coverage was better. I've always said if you listen to a NASCAR race on the radio, it sounds so much more exciting. And I love the fact that basically turns one up through the S's and everything, that was the part that Mike Bagley covered. I love Mike Bagley. I don't think there is a better race commentator anywhere. I am convinced that Mike Bagley could come over to my house and describe paint drying, and I would tune in. It would be exciting. So I love the fact that they did the coverage that way. I got to give a big nod to NBC for taking a chance and doing things differently like that. I've been critical of some of the broadcasts, both them and Fox, but big thumbs up for that. But the actual race itself, Austin Hill wins. Austin Hill is on fire. You forget that it's been 28 days since the truck guys raced, but he won the last truck race they had, which was on the dirt in Knoxville, Iowa. But Austin Hill, I felt like, he had a really strong truck. John Hunter Nemechek had a great truck all day. Gilliland had a strong truck too, but I felt like Austin Hill was able to keep it out of trouble, keep it up front. Big win for him. Also got to say a couple things. If you want to see some excitement or somebody who needs a nickname, Carson Hocevar, watch every restart and watch Carson Hocevar drive into turn one. You talk about Captain Chaos or somebody who looks like a young Kyle Busch, the way they charge in there. He was Mr. Excitement every time you went into turn one. But Austin Hill, theme warning for the night. Drivers with beards. Big weekends for them. And I decided to skip shaving for a couple of days to stick with that theme. And also, I got to say, you look at Austin Hill, he's not the 130-pound driver that we're used to. Most of these guys driving, they look like pointed the right direction here, wherever he is, Zach over here.
Oh, wow.
That's what they look like, 130 pounds. Austin Hill has got like the dad bod.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel a connection with Austin Hill. Okay. So glad to see him win. But with that, that's my comments. Great move by NBC. Big win by Austin Hill. Austin Hill showing some things here, showing he can drive on dirt, showing he can drive on a road course. Big props to him. So with that, I'm going to wrap up the truck race and let, I believe Zach is going to cover the Xfinity race for us. Before we get that, if anybody has anything to add, jump in here. But next up is going to be Zach in the Xfinity race.
Yeah, I will. I do have something to add. I was going to say that the two late race live races that I've watched, Austin Hill has won both. So I think I have to start watching a little bit more. Hopefully, he'll win the championship. Because I love that. I love him. He's a great driver, and I would love to see him win his first championship for sure. So going into the Xfinity Series race, Watkins Glen. Like I said, or like you said, Tom, I enjoyed the broadcast I think it was wonderful. I did a lot of trucking with my dad growing up, and I always listened to the races, and it was frustrating not being able to see it. And so having both of those tied together just made the experience also just awesome. Ty Gibbs lost the lead twice in the last, I guess, 8 laps, I think I want to say, and was able to get it back not once but twice to win his third race. Third race. I believe he's only raced in 8 races?
10.
Does anybody know? 10 races. Okay, never mind. 3 out of 10 is still 30%. If you win 30% of your races in a single season, you're doing pretty good. Allmendinger was probably the class of the field. He had the most experience going in as well. And so I think, and a lot of people thought that Austin Cindric would kind of challenge him for that as well. So I think it was a little bit of a surprise that Ty Gibbs was able to pull it off there, especially where he started as well. I thought this was an amazing race. I tuned into the last part of it as well. And I thought for sure Allmendinger had it because he got the restart. He got the right jump, got around him. For some reason, Ty didn't pick the outside like he did the last time, so he couldn't get a good run off of one. And I thought it was over for sure. He opened up a little bit of a gap too, and Ty just charged down and passed him and opened up at least a second gap to Allmendinger, and just won it. I couldn't believe it, and he's going to be one to watch, especially if he gets that full-time ride like it's rumored for next season.
Oh, about hit the wrong button. Sorry, Zach, give me just a second here. I about removed you from the stream instead of removing you from the solo layout.
Wouldn't be the first time.
Yeah. The Ty Gibbs is, man, he is making a name for himself. I know he's kind of been ultra successful on road courses, but at 18 years old, oh my gosh, I am so impressed with what this kid is doing.
Yeah. And he's
We
beating
all are.
he's beating Cup people that are going to Cup next season right now.
Yeah.
And so it just goes to show, the talent level and how much talent he has.
Yeah. So, all right, the big event of the weekend, the Cup race. We're going to let Mr. Aaron Simmons, a.k.a. Simoleons, tell us about all the action from the Cup race. Take it over, Aaron.
Alrighty, fellas, on Sunday, it was a very bad day for Penske. Even though they started 1, 2, and 3 on the starting grid, the best finisher from that race from Penske was 14th. That's the best finisher. Joey Logano, 22, ended up in the most ironic spot in 22nd. And then the pole sitter, Brad Keselowski, 35th out of 37 cars. That's how their day went. So, not a great day for Penske, but an old friend rose his way back up to the top. And
Hey, Aaron, if it was a drifting contest, Penske would have dominated.
Or hitting your teammate out.
drifting, you need to have some sort of control.
Joey Logano hit that intimidator feature from the old EA Sports games, and it came back to bite him because Brad.
But they're teammates still. I mean, why would you do that?
They're only
You mean to
teammates
tell
for a
me-
couple of more months. Remember that.
You mean to tell me in those old EA Sports games you never hit the intimidator feature on a teammate?
No, because I'm a good boy. I'm a
You
clean driver.
are only one.
Well, I'm a clean driver unless your name is Robbie Gordon, but that's besides the point. Going back to the Cup race. An old friend in Kyle Larson. He was basically the class of the field besides Chase Elliott, who made his charge way too late, and he used up way too much of his stuff to catch him. But Kyle Larson picks up his 5th win of the season and is now tied for the regular season championship with Denny Hamlin, who right now I imagine is hoping somebody not new wins next week so he can basically secure his spot in the chase, because that's about the only scenario that he has right now of making it, unless he wins. So really just a good Cup race, but just a day that Penske would love to forget.
Yeah, if you look at it, like it was to me a total domination between Penske and Gibbs because they took the top 7 spots. First guy not driving for Penske or Gibbs was 8th place Kevin Harvick. Penske and Gibbs had they locked down the top 7. Not Penske,
Tom
but Gibbs and Hendrick locked down the top 7. And poor Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman finishes 20th. All his other teammates are either top 6 or top 7. I can't remember exactly. But yeah, poor Alex Bowman. What happened to him? You know, he's like driving the struggle bus over at Hendrick with that 20th place finish.
I kind of feel like Bowman right now is kind of like, oh God, who was it?
I don't got anything.
Who was it? Like way back when? Who was just he's either very hit or very miss. He would get like a top 5, top 10 finish one week, and then he would just do poorly the next, and then just that cycle would continue. But right now, he's got to find some sort of consistency if he wants to go anywhere far in the chase.
Yeah. So Zach, are you still with us? There you are. You're back, Zach.
There he is.
Yes,
So
I'm back.
we are up to motorsports news. So that is your segment to lead us through, Zach.
Yeah, so there was kind of a slow news week a little bit, but in order to save time, we're just going to do some two news segments this week. Jimmy Johnson is going to test at Homestead Miami Speedway with his sights set on 2022 Indianapolis 500. What do you think this means for him, and what do you think this means for his career? Let's go ahead and go with our guest, Big Ben.
I mean, he's out there to have fun in IndyCar, and that's about it. I mean, he's a 7-time champion, one of the greatest NASCAR drivers of all time, so he's earned the right to do whatever he wants. But he's slowly but surely there. But I don't think he will, when everything's said and done, he will be known for his IndyCar races. But yeah, he's earned the right to do whatever he wants. So, and then in addition, he's bringing plenty of eyeballs to the IndyCar broadcast. So, no reason to knock him. So,
well, we changed the format a little bit this week, but I will say that he also is not ruling out a return to NASCAR for next season or whatever he chooses. So that's definitely going to be interesting to see. Maybe we see him back in NASCAR again.
Maybe.
Yeah. Also, veteran
everybody freeze. Everybody looks frozen on my screen. You guys still with me?
Yep. We're still here.
Veteran broadcaster Bob Jenkins dies at 73. I think he lost his battle to brain cancer for 8 months. I think he had it. That's very unfortunate. I do remember fond memories of him, especially that Brad Keselowski, I want to say Brickyard 500 ending. I'm so sorry.
He's expressing his condolences.
I think so too. So yeah, those are our 2 news stories for today. Does anybody have any comments?
Go ahead, Zach. Go ahead, Ben.
Just a very unfortunate and very big loss for the racing community, as Bob Jenkins is one of the greatest commentators of all time. He's done so much for racing. He did NASCAR for a number of years. In his later years, he did the PA system for Indianapolis. So just a really unfortunate loss for the racing community. Very big loss. So Bob
Jenkins actually did an interview with some friends of mine that do a show, Racing Refresh, and they were really struck by how generous he was with his time and what a genuinely kind man he was. And he actually made an effort to stay in touch with them beyond the initial interview, just to try to give them some advice, help them along with their broadcast they were doing, and actually had plans to reappear on the show. and then actually called them personally when he was diagnosed with the brain cancer to let him know that he had to cancel the interview, or at that time he said he was just going to postpone it. But very sad to see him go. Great commentator, great for the world of motorsports, was kind of known as the voice of Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Very sad to see him go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, me as well.
Before we get into who's hot, who's not, I want to let everybody know that we are going to try to get in a couple of viewer questions or comments at the end of the show. So be thinking of anything you want to ask us or any topics you'd like to see us discuss, and we will see what we can do. But do me a favor, please hold those and don't type them in the comments until we're about there. Last week, we had almost 300 comments, and a couple of people put them in early, and literally, I could only scroll up so far. I don't know what the limit was on how far I could scroll back, but I couldn't get to their comments, and I had to retype them. So think about what you'd like for us to talk about, but please hold them, and we'll get to those in just a few minutes. But right now, we are up to who's hot and who's not. And Zach, I am going to let you go first on this one.
Awesome. So with who's not or who's hot, I am going to go with Ty Gibbs. Obviously, I've been raving and ranting about him all season. I can't believe how young he is, and he's already, probably could be a championship contender this season, if not the outright championship winner this season if he was running full time. There was news, Sports Clips picked him up as a sponsor, so that's amazing. He started running the Monster scheme again. Before, I think there was a little bit of a conflict with the Rowdy Energy, Joe Gibbs kind of sponsorship there. But overall, he's done so well this season. Winning 30% of his races. And honestly, I don't think he's finished outside the top 5. I can't really remember off the top of my head, but I don't believe he's finished outside the top 5 all season. So that's really, really good. And I would love to see him in a full-time ride next season and compete for the championship because he is that hot right now. I can't imagine what it's going to be like next season when there's going to be even less competition. So we'll have to see, definitely. And maybe he's one of the guys who can go to Xfinity for one season, win a championship, and then move immediately to Cup. We'll see. As far as who's not, I'm going to say Penske as an organization for last weekend's giant cluster. They not only in NASCAR did they have issues with their setups because all 3 drivers were dealing with locking up, rear locking, or I believe it was front locking on some too, just brake issues in general. It had to be a setup thing because not three cars and their level of talent in all 3 of those cars should not be locking up and sending it into these corners and wrecking out their teammates and ruining their races, especially starting on pole. But not just that, but also in IndyCar, you had Will Power wrecking his own teammates, not once, but twice, 2 times, sent it in on his teammate and wrecked him. The second time wasn't as bad, but the first time caused a massive pileup. Actually, no, the second time was bad because then it hit Scott McLaughlin and almost broke his rear axle, but basically took him out of the race. And then not to mention it caused a 15-car pileup into the second corner or whatever of the race. Just absolutely insane. They did not do well. I don't think they had a car finish inside the top 10, which is ridiculous and crazy. Joseph Newgarden had issues pretty much all race. He got stuck in the back, and it was just a terrible race for them. Terrible as an organization for a weekend to forget. And let's hope they can bounce back. I think the lone shining spot was Matt DiBenedetto finishing in 11th and a affiliate car. That was the highest they finished this entire weekend. So give that man a contract. Anyway, that's all I got to say.
Okay. All right, Simoleons, who you got for who's hot and who is not?
All right, this week for my who's hot this week, I'm gonna go with you, Tom, because for those of you who do not know, Tom, aka the Setup Man, he has been giving the NASCAR Heat community throughout the last year, amazing setups, amazing tips to drive courses, and as of recently, guys been using his setups and beating him, which has eaten him up a lot. But this week, he made it a mission to get on at least one all-time leaderboard in Heat 5, and he finally did it. In fact, he didn't get on one; he got on two. And so, Tom, I am proud of you, buddy. You deserve that. You gave the community amazing setups and tips and tricks on how to get around the courses in Heat 5, and you deserve that honor. So congrats, Tom. You're my, who's hot this week, and who's not. Zach, you stole mine. I was gonna go with Penske, damn it, but you know what? I'm gonna go Nashville. Nashville. What in the world was that? I tuned in. I was expecting a great race, and it looked and like was said earlier in this podcast, it was a cluster of just bad driving and just destroyed race cars, and really just a bad way to kick off your reintroduction into the Indy World Series. And so hopefully next year you guys get together. But for this week, I'm going Nashville because that was putrid.
And by the way, thank you, Simoleons. Appreciate that. You ran the lobbies with me. And by the way, both of us made it onto the all-time leaderboard in the Truck Series at Iowa and Richmond. So with us saying goodbye to this game in a month or two or whatever, I'm hoping that those times stick up there. But we both made it on those leaderboards. Big thrill for me.
There were so many for Penske that we could have picked.
Yeah, there were so many for Penske. But Ben, who you got for who's hot and who's not?
Who's not?
Hey, Ben,
Ben's internet.
You got me. Who are you picking for who's hot and who's not? Ben, can you hear us? Hey, Ben, you there? Okay. All right, I will jump in here, okay, then. For who's hot and who's not, who's hot, okay? I am going with, how do I do? I am going with who's hot? Drivers with beards. Drivers with beards are hot. You have your Truck Series winner, Austin Hill. You have your Cup Series winner, Kyle Larson. It's a weak beard. It looks like a 5 o'clock shadow, but it's there.
Yeah, let's say, can you really call Larson's beard a beard? Can you really classify it as that?
That's barely a beard. That's not that much of a
liberal
beard.
interpretation. Really. And second place, Chase Elliott. Drivers with beards are hot.
Apparently, that's the theme of tonight.
So, that is my who's hot. Now, I'm going to change it up a little bit here. And instead of going who's hot and who's not, I'm going who's hot and who's hotter. So for who's hotter, I'm going with Austin Hill. 2 wins in a row in the Truck Series. He did it in the dirt. He did it on the road course. He's getting hot at the time of the playoffs. Austin Hill, who's hotter. So I changed it up. Who's hot, who's not. Ben, you back with us. Can you hear us? Who you got for who's hot and who's not?
All right. For who's hot, I got Scott Dixon. It's that time of year. 3 weeks. He's finished fourth, and second. Or fourth, second.
I read that comment. You're doing great, sweetie. Continue.
You're doing great, Ben. Keep it up. Like I said, who's not? Ben's internet.
Yeah, I'm changing mine. I got my who's not now.
Yep.
Ben's internet.
Ben's internet, yeah.
Yep.
he's coming in, and then for who's not,
It'll eventually get out.
Wait for it. Drum
I'm gonna have
roll.
to go Pato Award. Ever since he got that win in Detroit 2, his highest finish has been 8th. That's all he's been able to manage. So I'm sorry, Zach. I'm sorry. I had to do it.
Yeah,
I had to do it, Zach.
okay.
But Scott's coming around.
After he sent it on
Let's
Rossi,
go
I realized.
top tonight.
After he sent it on Rossi, I knew that.
Oh my goodness.
his championship hopes were going to be pretty bad.
Or
I'll tell you
hear
what, we got
anything?
enough of it, and with the way it's cutting out, let's not go through it again.
Yep.
We powered through that.
Yeah.
One step at a time, Ben.
Okay, so I think he said Chip Ganassi Racing was who's hot. Pato
No,
Award
Scott
was who's
Dixon.
not.
Scott
Dixon is who's hot.
yeah.
Okay, Pato Award is who's not. But let's get to Simolian's favorite segment: green flag, red flag.
You got to put up the most recent comment. Thank you. Oh, and he leaves. It's a okay.
We're all bullies here.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Okay, let's get to the.
All right, let's
All
get
right, green
to
flag, red
Aaron's
flag. Let's just-
favorite segment: green flag, red flag.
All right, gentlemen.
We
All
may have
right,
to.
green flag, red flag. Number 1. Denny Hamlin regains momentum and wins the regular season championship. Green flag for yes, red flag for no. Tom, we'll go with you first.
I'm going to say red flag. Kyle Larson, it took him about 4 or 5 races to relearn how to drive a cup car after being out of it for a year. He's been on fire ever since then. I just don't see Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin has not ran bad. He may not have a win, but he's got a lot of good finishes and a lot of stage points. But Kyle Larson is just on fire. So I'm going to say red flag. I think Kyle Larson is just, he's going to tie now, and I think he's just going to pull away and grab the regular season championship.
All right, Zach, what say you?
I don't feel like agreeing with Ben today, or I'm not Ben, but Tom. Sorry, I don't feel like agreeing with him. I'm going to say green flag. Denny Hamlin has been probably the most consistent, and we've seen recently that consistency hasn't been Kyle Larson's in his forte. So I'm going to say that Denny Hamlin probably can regain it. I think it's going to take a lot of effort, but I think he has the ability and the drive and the car underneath him to be able to do it. I'm going to say green flag.
Well, unlike you, Zach, I will go with I will agree with Tom here and go red flag. I mean, yeah, he's been good, but Kyle Larson has been better at nearly any type of track. Road course, short track, intermediate, super speedway yet to be determined, but he's just been flat out better. I mean, honestly, just look at Mark Martin. He's been good, but not good enough. And so I will go with red flag for that. And we may be able to get Ben in here, maybe if his internet co-ops.
Yeah, I sent him a text message, told him just to rejoin, but he may have. Oh, wait. There, I see him.
Are you on your
Almost
phone
looks
now?
like he's in HD now, too.
See more of that beautiful face.
All right, so give Ben
yeah,
the
I'm
green
on
flag,
the
red
phone
flag
now,
question.
So I gave up with the laptop.
Oh,
All right.
That's better. Okay, Ben, we're on the green flag, red flag segment. Green flag means you agree. Red flag means you disagree.
All
right. Do you agree or disagree? Denny Hamlin regains momentum and wins the regular season championship. No comment. Awesome.
I don't think he's lost momentum in the first place. Just because he's not winning doesn't mean he's running bad. Can y'all know him?
We're
Yes.
catching
Her
most
two
of it,
syllables
yeah.
that time.
If you got a computer that you can hardwire instead of
Hear
doing
me?
hotspot or something, hardwire would probably work better.
We got a great
Yeah.
picture of his face. If we just want to zoom in just for that
I'm
little thing right
thinking-
there, take a couple pictures.
I don't.
All right, so let's keep rolling. Let's go
All
to
right.
question 2.
All right. Green flag, red flag, number 2 of the evening. Chase Elliott may have lost to Kyle Larson at Watkins Glen, but he still has a better beard than his teammates. And
Oh,
there's
of
the
course you had to
reference
pull
picture.
that up.
All right, gentlemen, green flag or red flag for the beard. Zach, we'll go with you first.
I'm sorry. Bundy's comment, man of very few syllables. I'm sorry.
We should laugh because he's a newcomer on the show, but
Other
damn it,
episodes,
it's
this
funny.
stuff is gold.
I'm
This stuff
okay.
is gold, Bundy. Where have you been for our other episodes? Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
gosh.
We love you commenting
We gotta
in the
have
chat
you
because
tuning in,
because this is
Bundy.
gold.
We have to get back on track. I'm gonna say
We do.
red flag. I kind of like the shorter hair look. He's got it all tied together. Elliot still has that kind of beard stubble. He should probably get that cleaned up, but on his neck, I think I like Kyle Larson's better.
All right, Tom, we'll go to
Man,
you.
I was sure that I was going to be the only one that picked Kyle Larson, but I got to say Kyle Larson. Yeah, Chase Elliott. The beard is not just something you let it go. You gotta,
Yeah, exactly.
you can't let it be scruffy. You gotta trim the neckline. You got to get everything symmetrical with your trimming. It's a little scruffy. I'm going to go with Kyle Larson. I think it just looks a little neater. So, yeah, I'm going with Kyle Larson on that one.
All right, I'll be the one to go with Chase. I mean, Larson. It looks like he's trying to grow a beard, but yet, from the hair pattern, it looks like he's trying to grow mutton chops. Is what he's trying to do. And a mutton chops with like a mustache look, and it looks like it's growing everywhere but the chin. I mean, honestly, if you look at my face, it looks like Larson and I need to kind of like exchange facial hair because I can grow everything on my chin, but yet nothing right here. Nothing. It's all here and here. That's it. So it looks like Larson and I need to do like a hood swap and just facial hair swap because I need something right here.
Yeah,
But-
we can Photoshop it.
Awesome, thank you guys. I need it. But no, I'm gonna go with Elliott.
All right, we got 2 Larsons and an Elliott. I figured that I was going to be the only Larson one. So,
Nah,
okay.
gotta represent.
I
Short
think
hair-
we
short
have
hair game.
lost Ben.
I think we did too. I think he finally decided to give up.
No,
Okay.
his name is not Ben anymore. It's man of few symbols.
Syllables.
Sorry, not syllables.
Man, a few syllables.
Also,
Also, I'm pretty sure that that's Ben's Native American name. Man, a few syllables.
I really enjoyed that. That was funny.
Well, we enjoyed it. Ben probably let's not tell him about it. Anyway, green flag, red flag, number 3. Ty Gibbs is the most talented driver to enter NASCAR since Kyle Busch. Green flag for yes, red flag for no. Let's see, who did I go first? Tom, we'll go with you first.
I'm going to say yes. I know that since Kyle Busch has came in and he's a veteran now and he started very young, but I'm not even sure he had this much success this early compared to Ty Gibbs. I know we've had Kyle Larson come along. He's extremely talented. We've had Chase Elliott come along. We've had some very talented guys, but I'm going to say he's 18 and I don't want to overhype him too much, but yeah, I'm going to say, that he is the most talented driver to come along. And, I got to say, I'm a little jealous of Ben here. Ben has become the star of the show while only being here for half of the show.
I know.
We have more comments about Ben. Ben's
Honestly.
been here for 15 minutes of an hour podcast, and he's more popular than any of us.
He's trying to join from the original, very first iPad. That's what he's dealing with right now. Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
Oh, God.
I'm gonna say green flag. Definitely, Ty Gibbs is probably one of the most talented drivers. I mean, I love him. He's great, and he wins. So, what more can you ask for? But it's interesting to see their temperament at this young of an age. And I don't think Kyle Busch was kind of a hothead, kind of like a little bit like Kurt Busch. So, but we don't see that necessarily in Ty. He's very what's the word? I don't know what word I'm looking for, but nicer, I guess, is for lack of a better term. So he's just a likable guy, and not only that, he produces on the track. So I think he's going to be an instant success. And like I said, I think he might be going to Cup here shortly, just based off of his talent that he's shown in the limited races this season.
Yeah, and I'll also go green flag. I mean, the dude can honestly drive a race car at such a young age. It's incredible. And I really think he will do a lot of great things in Cup. But, Zach, I think the word you're looking for was melancholy.
Yeah.
If I'm trying to crack on my lit brain here.
Probably.
So, but yeah, that's definitely green flag. I think he's going to have a bright future in Cup. But yeah, I kind of think Mr. Joe Gibbs is not really letting Ty and Joe, I believe her grandfather, grandson.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
humble is what I'm looking for.
Probably. Humble, there you go. But yeah, I really think he's going to go far, especially under that Gibbs power right now.
Okay. Before you get to the last one, I want to remind everybody that is tuning in. Next up is the fan interaction. So if you've got any questions, go ahead and start typing them out here, or questions or comments that you want to. Topics you want to see us discuss, get them out there. We'll see if we can talk about a couple of them before we get to into the fan interaction segment. But go ahead, Smollins, keep rolling.
Absolutely. Comments, questions. Making fun of Ben. Please get them in.
New segments we miss. Try that too.
Absolutely. And so we'll go to our last one for the night. With his win at Watkins Glen, Kyle Larson has surpassed Chase Elliott as the best road course racer in NASCAR and is the new king of the road. Green flag for yes, red flag for no. Zach, we'll go with you.
I'm going to say no. I think Chase Elliott had a mountain to climb this past race for start. He was starting up front, towards the front, and got sent to the back. Who knows if they still had illegal parts on the car. I know they confiscated some. But you have to pass tech in order to race. And he got up to second and he was lapping faster than Larson, just didn't have enough time to get to him. I think he definitely could have won if he started higher. And for sure, I think Larson and Elliott have battled a lot. And, because they're teammates, I don't think they necessarily want to wreck each other. But, Sonoma probably could have get bumped out of the way. And especially with the, what was the other track that they raced? I'm blanking, but there's another one that Kyle Larson won, and Chase Elliott was nearly behind him. So I really don't think that Kyle Larson's the new road king per se, because I think that still belongs to Chase Elliott. But I will say that Kyle Larson has improved for sure, and it's nice to see a different face.
Zach, you're just wrong. I'm disagreeing.
Oh, okay.
You're just wrong on so many levels. Let's start with, did he have any illegal parts on the car? Okay, let me remind you, they're both coming out of the same Hendrick stable, and the cars are basically being built by Chad Knaus. Yes, he had illegal parts on the car. They both had illegal parts on the car.
I mean, really,
that when the statute of limitations is all done, Chad Knaus will probably tell you he never put a car on the track that was legal. Okay,
really, I don't any say car that out there, like squeaky clean legal. Is any car like that?
I remember Dale Jr. saying, "I don't know if I ever drove a legal car. I hope I didn't." I remember Dale Jr. saying that. And I don't say that to be critical of Chad
Penske-
Canals. That's racing. That's how you get advantages.
The
But
Penske
yes, he
cars
had
look
illegal
real
parts
legal
on the car.
This past car.
But Kyle Larson is the king of road courses. He's the king of dirt. He's becoming the king of ovals. They've ran 1, 2, 3 road courses, and 2 of the 3, Kyle Larson has won. Kyle Larson is pretty much the king of anything with a steering wheel right now. So there. Illegal parts or not.
I don't agree. Not until Kyle Larson wins a couple more road courses.
Now, see, Tom, I'm going to have to agree with Zach here. I'm going to have to. Because while Larson is doing fantastic on road courses this season, Chase is 2 wins away from tying Jeff Gordon as the king of the road and 3 wins away from taking that spot. And so while Kyle Larson is fantastic on road, fantastic on dirt, fantastic on circles, he's still got a long road ahead of him to catch up to Chase, in my opinion. But although he is certainly showing that talent here this year.
Fire them, Tom. Okay.
Okay, Bundy. Okay, but come on.
Okay, I'm not sure if my computer agrees or disagrees with me, but it sounds like it is revving up like it's about to take the green flag. Can you guys hear that?
I
just started hearing it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, it just started. So if we suddenly get cut off, it's probably because of my computer, and you might need to call 911 because my house might be on fire. I'm going to mute my mic unless I am talking.
I will just say that Larson has not won the amount of road courses that Chase has, and until he does, and until he consistently proves that he can win them over Chase, not just because Chase started in the back, he's not going to be the king of the road courses for me.
No, I mean, I agree.
I think
Larson is really making his mark this year.
Yeah, I've been impressed with Larson all season, especially winning on road courses, which he historically hasn't done necessarily that well on. I think he's definitely, proving something and showing that he can. But you don't take a title with 2 road course wins on the season when you haven't really won any in your career as well. I don't agree. I don't agree. In these comments, I don't agree.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, fire me.
Yeah, as far as Zach, looks like you're fired, man.
Why don't you hire Ben? Why don't you hire Ben?
We can't find anybody that will work for what we're paying Zach, so he's got some job security there.
Negative money. You're gonna owe Tom some money. Yeah, I can talk like Ben for a second and be like, Larson.
Hey, you can't argue with anything Ben said. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, you really can't.
He didn't say much. I'm just kidding.
No, but what he said made such an impact, right here, man. It made such an impact, I really felt those words.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Well, syllables, but not, words to stretch.
All right, well, I think we're now on to the
if anybody's got any topics they want to see us discuss on the air before we get to the white flag comments, or any questions or just general topics.
Well, let's see
for
right
all
now.
the viewers out there, here's the problem. Here's why they're just not on the board with me. It says it's a Willoughby thing you wouldn't understand. That's my last name. See, you guys just don't get it. You don't understand. It's a Willoughby thing.
Yeah.
I guess so.
You were on your own for that one.
Yep.
TBR Pride saying here says he'll work for free. That is great, but we actually make Zach pay us $100 every week just to let him be on the show. So
you're not wrong.
Free is not going to get it. He forks over money to be here.
Yeah, I don't see a good return on that either. Just saying. I don't nearly get as much screen time as I think I should with that $100.
All right, how about this? Bundy has got a question here. Thoughts about the extra road courses in the schedule? I don't think it is NASCAR. So I like the road courses. I think they're kind of different. I think 7 out of 36 races, that's almost 20%. I certainly don't want to see any more. Yeah, it seems like we go in waves. And for a while, it was they wanted more short tracks, and now they're trying to turn Auto Club into a short track. Now they want more road courses. I certainly don't want any more. I thought 5 was plenty, so I'm kind of with you. They're kind of fun. They're kind of different. But when it's becoming almost 20% of the schedule, I think that may be a little bit excessive. So I wouldn't mind seeing them scale back. What do you guys think?
Go ahead.
I actually like it. It gives NASCAR much more diversity in their tracks. It's not just kind of going to the same oval or anything like that for like the next 3 weeks, where tracks are similar in a way but not very. And so I think this really gives NASCAR, I think a little bit more, saying power and saying like, hey, look, they're making another left turn, and hey, look, they're making another left turn. Well, now you can't really say that. I mean, yes, they do, but now they're adding, but now they're going left and right sometimes, instead of just like 2 times a year. And so I really like it. It gives the drivers, it kind of forces the drivers to be more talented instead of just turning left. And so I'm all for it. I wouldn't like to see any more, but I kind of would like to see the road courses kind of just change up and say, hey, we're going here next, and hey, we're going here next, and just try to explore new avenues. But I do like the inclusion of more road courses.
Zach, what about you?
I love road courses. I came from an F1 background, so all they do is race on road courses, not to mention Indy as well. It's a different aspect. Yeah, it's a road course is a completely different animal, even though we see the same people win the same amount of times. I think that Hendrick and who was the other team? Mostly Hendrick and Gibbs were in the top 10 at Watkins Glen, which was a little bit annoying. But I will say that I enjoyed all the road courses, and I thought that they were and I think that additions kind of complement each other. I loved Coda for sure, but just getting all that all the road courses on there, getting a little bit of different diversity with where you're going is important. I will say though that it was a little bit frustrating at Watkins Glen. It seemed like it was harder to pass this season than most other seasons. I didn't really see a lot of passing, and when you did, it was mostly JGR, Hendrick. Typically, those are a little bit wild card races, and I have to give it for Tom for being right that there wasn't going to be a new winner at Watkins Glen there. But yeah, definitely interesting.
Let's hit Tom Freeman asking if I will be making setup videos when the NASCAR 21 game comes out. What do we think about the new game? Will it match the hype? I will definitely be making setup videos. Now, it may take me a while, and you may see a setup for a track, and then a month later see a new updated setup, because it is a whole new physics engine to get our hands around. So I think it's going to take a little while to figure it out. So you may have to be patient with it, but it will be coming out. But aside from me making setups, let's talk about the new game coming out for just a minute. I am going to tell you guys, tomorrow is the next 2 days, I think we're going to get some information, okay? Tomorrow, the Motorsports Games is having an earnings call where it's open to the public, where they're going to talk about their earnings for the quarter into June 30th. When they did this for the last quarter, they talked about a September release date. They talked about the last half of the quarter as being the date they're going to release it. So they talked about it 3 months ago. Now that we're 3 months closer, when they do this call tomorrow, I expect them to talk about it even more. So I would encourage you guys, if you go to motorsportsgames.com, there is a tab for, I think it is investors, and then you can see on that pull-down menu, I think it's events. The event is tomorrow at 5 o'clock. I would encourage you to tune into it. And despite what anybody says or what anybody thinks about when the game's coming out or what's happening, these are the developers. This is Motorsports Games that's making it. Whatever they say is really the only definitive thing we can go on. So I would encourage you guys to tune into that one. Then they're at some industry conference the following day that you can tune into that one as well. But I encourage everybody, check out those 2 events to get an idea of what's going on with the game. I expect it to have some bumps. Motorsports just bought 704 games a few months ago. They're integrating a new physics engine in R Factor 2. They're integrating Unreal Engine into it. They've got a lot of moving parts that they've got to integrate all together, as well as just the people integrating together. I think there's going to be some bugs. I think there's going to be some bumps in the roads. I think they'll get it right, but I think we're going to have to, like we've seen at Nashville and with IndyCar and with Knoxville, or not Knoxville, but Bristol and Dirt, we're going to see some growing pains with this. So be patient with them. Sorry, I talked a lot there. I'll let you guys chime in.
All right, Zach, you want to go?
Yeah, I was just gonna say that it's gonna be a new game, and I'm excited for more setups for the new game. I really hope that they get this one right and really cater to the fans' needs. So I'm hoping for the best, but definitely something that I'm gonna be probably getting when it comes out. I think it'll match the hype for sure.
Now, see, I don't share your optimism right now. I mean, of course, we've all seen the screenshots. We've all kind of seen the releases from the game, and of course, it looks phenomenal. It looks a hell of a lot better than what 704 is producing right now, by far. But there's one problem that's sticking out in my mind, and it keeps growing more and more concerning as the days go by. We haven't officially seen any gameplay of it yet. We don't know kind of really what the physics is going to be. We haven't really seen the new paint booth. They've talked about it, but we've not seen it yet. And if they're still shooting for that September deadline that they are saying that they're going to, they kind of be getting that out to us to get us, hyped, to let us know kind of what we're in for. But yet we haven't seen that yet. And so to me, that's very concerning. I mean, of course, I'm hyped for the new game, but normally I would, pre-order that thing right now because, of course, I love NASCAR video games. Even with 704's kind of stuff, I still think they're, I think 5 is certainly enjoyable. I mean, it's still okay, but there are a lot of improvements that need to come in, and hopefully Motorsport Games will address those issues. But the fact they have not shown us yet is very concerning for me as a consumer. And so I hope that sometime they will release a trailer kind of showing us what's in this new game. But I think on release date they're not going to live up to the hype. I think it'll be a few more DLCs and patches down the road to kind of get to that level of hype.
Well, Simoleons, I think you got a really valid point there. And I went back and looked at when the other games were released and looked at the release date and when they announced the release date. And it seems like about 2 months out is when they historically announced the release date. So if it was July 7th, you knew about May 7th when it was coming out. So if they were going to do September, we should have already seen a release date. So I am a little concerned about that, but we are now dealing with motorsports games instead of 704 games. Maybe they work on a different calendar, but it's concerning me that we're not seeing gameplay, that we haven't got a release date announced, that we're still missing all these details. But I'm really hoping that in the next couple of days, a lot of that stuff starts to come together. Let's do one more fan comment. And I think this is the type of book. I think it's, what do you guys think of the rumors that Petty is for sale, or that they actually use the Ware Petty charter to bring a second Petty team? I still like that Petty Earnhardt Motorsports. Simoleons, what do you think?
I really don't know. For right now, I'm not buying that rumor. I think Petty is going to be around for a while, especially with the name recognition and sponsors wanting to, of course, be in that team for that name recognition and for the diehard Petty fans. But I would not be surprised if Petty was going to sell the team and Rick Ware was going to be the first one to gobble that up. But I don't buy it right now. I love Petty Earnhardt Motorsports. I would love for Earnhardt to kind of come back into the Cup Series, but right now I'm just not seeing it.
Zach, what about you?
Yeah. So obviously, if Petty does sell the team, he definitely wants to keep the name, as that was what was reported. So we will probably still see the Petty name be kind of like what they did with Williams in F1. But they sell the team, but they keep the name. They have to use the name. It's iconic. I mean, it's been around forever. So I definitely want to still see it. And I think that, like I said earlier in the season, I think Petty Earnhardt Motorsports definitely sounds very, 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 very good and should be considered. But I definitely think that they probably sell one of their charters. I know they lease one together with Rick Ware Racing. I definitely think that is probably going to be sold to somebody. 2311 is still looking for another charter. So we'll see. I know that there was an earlier report that Rick Ware Racing said they would have 2 solid cars for next season. So there's still some up in the air as far as Rick Ware Racing and how many charters he's going to have for next season.
Okay, I'm trying to step back from the computers. Hopefully you guys don't hear that buzzing from my computer. I think it's the fan. And I'll be the first to admit, anything I say here is pure guesswork. I am not really up to speed on the rumors, and I am not all that well-versed on all the charters, but I'm going to make a couple of statements. One is, if Chip Ganassi will sell his stuff, who was not financially strapped at all, and Chip Ganassi's an extremely wealthy and successful man, I guess you got to go with the theory that everything is always for sale for the right price. So that's one comment. 2, is Richard Petty still the majority owner? I thought they kept the Petty name, but maybe he was not the majority owner, but I am not sure about that. I don't know if anybody else knows for sure. But I will say this, if you have a NASCAR charter, it seems like this is a great time to sell. Okay, because you've got Colleague Racing wanting to come in. You've got 2311 wanting to expand to a second team. Okay, you've got Junior Motorsports talking about going cup racing. You've got all these new entrants in. So I think the market is ripe if you want to sell. You could probably sell it and probably make more money off your charter now than ever, because you've got so many people who want to get into the sport right now and I don't believe have all the charters that they'd really like to have. So I think that if you're going to sell, this is probably a pretty good time. I can't believe that things are peachy for Petty financially, just because they haven't done extremely well on the track. They were getting a lot of sponsorship attention from Bubba for the last half of last season, but then he left, so I can't believe they're in great shape financially. And I got to believe that if you were going to sell, this is a great time to sell. So who knows? We'll just have to see what happens.
Exactly.
But I am going to say that let's because I'm afraid my computer is going to explode or take off into flight at any minute. Let's kind of move on to our white flag segments. I'll let you guys pick. Who do you want to see go first in the white flag segment?
Go ahead.
I don't think I really have anything for the white flag. I mean, I was looking forward to getting this show underway and really looking forward to the fans' comments today. And of course, they've been all awesome and kind of just railing Ben for his internet, which is always funny, but still, I mean, it's kind of sad because we want to have Ben in here for quite a while, and unfortunately, internet just didn't want to cooperate today. But still, I mean, I want to thank Ben for at least showing up today and trying to do his best, and hopefully he will be back in here sometime soon, because I think I think he's a real good guy. And in fact, if it weren't for Ben, all 3 of us would not have met. And so I do want to thank him for that.
Absolutely true. Ben introduced us all to each other when he formed the Palmetto Racing League in Heat 5 on Xbox One.
Well,
Zach, what's your white flag statement?
Yeah, I'm going to go with a question. I'm going to go with a question for you guys.
Okay.
So, in their primes, who would you take, Brad Keselowski or Matt Kinseth? Let's go with Tom. In their primes.
Matt Kinseth was the ultimate steady performer, but not spectacular. I'm going to go with Keselowski.
Okay.
I'm just going to go with Keselowski. I think he's a little more aggressive. He'll take a chance and make a move and do something to try to put the car in victory lane. Whereas I think Matt Kinseth will take the 5th place finish and make sure the car doesn't get tore up. Different driving styles, but I'm going to go with Keselowski.
What about you?
Honestly, man, that's a tough question. But I think in their prime, I would go with Kinseth. I mean, like Tom said, he was always consistent. He was always clean. He always made sure the car came back in one piece. And as an owner, you would hopefully expect that. The fact that in a car and just hopefully not send the car to the junkyard, about once every 3 races. And so of course, Kinseth does have talent to go out there and dominate and win races also. And so I'll take Kinseth.
Okay. Well, wait.
Who would you pick?
I thought you said Brad. Tom, did you not?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So you guys split on that one. Okay.
Who do you think? Who do you pick?
I as far as driver goes, I don't know. I would say Kinseth just because he was damn dominant when it came during his Roush Fenway days. If Brad can help turn around Roush Fenway now, I think and get some wins, I think that he could definitely be in that conversation. But right now, Kinseth has 4 more wins with 9, or Brad Keselowski has 9 less years in Cup, but Kinseth still has 4 more wins than him, and was definitely a factor pretty much every single year besides his comeback season with RFR. Or no, he raced for RFR a little bit, and then also he raced for Chip Ganassi as well. So I think I'm definitely going to go with Kinseth, but Brad Keselowski definitely has the ability to overtake him for sure.
Especially his season over at Joe Gibbs, especially is what I was thinking of in that 20 car. I mean, he won, I think, one season, 5 races?
Yeah.
5 races in great contention for the championship until Logano happened.
Well, I think that his Roush Fenway days really showed, especially winning that championship, kind of showed that he was and also Roush was had very good cars as well. But I think that him moving over to Joe Gibbs afterwards, I think it was a great move, and I think that he kind of showed what his speed and his abilities were. I think I don't know. It's definitely a tough call for sure.
Oh yeah.
That was a great question. You should
Absolutely.
type it in the comments next time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
let me log on real quick.
I've got to give a shout out here to Tom Freeman, giving us a big compliment on the podcast we've got going here. Thank you for the comment. Thank you for the support. I know Tom tunes into my YouTube channel. He's been a big supporter of mine, so thank you for supporting the podcast as well, and thank all you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Tom, you
my white flag comment. I am going on a rant here, okay?
Uh-oh.
I complimented NBC for their coverage, and I was sincere in that, okay? But I cannot stand use of the word pace instead of speed or fast. It drives me nuts. Dale Jr. is made this his pet word, and he uses it all the time. That car's got great pace, okay? This car's got enough pace to keep up with the leaders. He uses the word pace all the time. He never says speed or fast or any of these other things. Pace is his word. And now he's got Jeff Burton and Steve Letarte doing it too. It's to me now, I hear the word pace, and it's not pace lap or pace car. It's pace, and it feels to me like fingernails on a chalkboard. I actually counted it. During the race because it would make my skin crawl every time I heard it. 17 times he used the word pace during the action, and he's only describing action in 3 corners. You want to have fun? And I am not responsible for the outcome of this. Do a shot every time Dale Jr. says the word pace and see if you can even make it into stage 3. Sorry,
Tom, I think I'm
let's
going to
hope
take
that
you up
that's
on
a
that.
fad and goes away.
I think I'm gonna
Pace,
take you up on
pace
that.
car, pace lap. Let's not use it in place of speed or fast. That's my rant. And
You know
yes,
what we
I'm a
should
grumpy
do?
old man, so I'm allowed to have rants like this.
You know what we should do, Tom? Next time the cup race is on,
I'm going to mute
next
you if
Sunday,
you say pace.
we should analyze the people's pace, the driver's pace. I'm just kidding. No, I was gonna say
Bye, Zach. Been fun knowing you.
I just muted him. We can't hear you, Zach. You're muted.
No, unmute my mic for a second. I was gonna say we should definitely do this live stream during the race so we can see all your anger and frustration every single time he says pace.
And as always, audience, please drink responsibly.
Yeah. No, I'm challenging you to that next time. I'm gonna FaceTime you. We're gonna get the tequila out, the whiskey out.
You may have a stronger liver than me. I will not make it to the end.
Oh no!
Hey,
Please don't put that comment
this
out.
is
No,
the
don't
best
you dare!
comment.
No.
Best comment of all time.
It's okay. I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to make my life harder. But I want you to put up that Matty D. Petty should use that second charter to give Matty D a ride. I agree with that guy. Alpha, great comment.
Oh, I'm worried
What
about
number would
Matty
they
D.
be?
There's just not a lot of spots open now.
There's
No.
nothing open.
So, all right.
Yeah.
With that, let's end this thing. Let's say goodbye to everybody. Thank you guys for
Yes.
tuning in. Thank you for the comments. Thanks for the support. Thanks for Ben for being here. Even though I'm a little jealous, he was more popular than we were. But we'll get his internet straightened out and have him back again sometime.
Hopefully.
For sure.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it. And we will see you next Tuesday at 9 o'clock.
All right, guys. Y'all take care now.
Hey guys.